in this video we're going to talk you through exactly what people don't tell you about pitching. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel we aim to help you get good at golf Monday right through to Friday. Guys, what people don't tell you about pitching is often one of the most important factors in your scoring. You see, these are the clubs that we build our score with, these are the clubs that you can build confidence with, and these are the clubs that help you get that handicap right down. So if you want to do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button here at Get Good at Golf. So many times when I've given lessons, when I've played in pro-ams, and when I've played with my friends as well, with my dad, with my brother. My brother's off scratch, so he kind of gets it a little bit. But I see people who stand, we've got 55 yards here on the Golf Zone simulator, and I see people stand like this. So in order to hit this ball 55 yards from here, I think, right, well, the full one probably goes 110, so that's okay. So I'll go half a swing. That is a very, very uncomfortable way of doing something. That one's only gone 22 yards. It's actually gone in the water hazard. Luckily enough, we've got plenty of TP5 Pixers in here that are gonna not get lost in the water hazard. So how do you set up to this? It's so important, and it's also so simple. Chris is gonna give you a couple of drills at the end of this video, but we wanna make sure we're nice and narrow. The reason why we're nice and narrow is because this is more a delicate shot than a powerful shot. If you were hitting a long drive, you would be stood shoulder width, probably a little bit more, because you want to load up to the right hand side, because you then want to push off that right hand side with a rotation. That left hip works really, really fast. That's how you generate your power. Then through the kinematic sequence on the way down, that's how you generate your club head speed, thus your ball speed. With this, we're not trying to create loads of ball speed. We're not trying to create as much club head speed as possible. We're not trying to be Martin Borgmeier. What we're trying to do is knock this as close as physically possible. Let's change it up on the screen here. Let's go and have a look. How do I do this? This is our brand new system. We're going to show you where these balls finish, move. So this is going to show you exactly where the balls finish. We're putting pressure on here. I'm going to play you a couple of demonstration shots. So nice and narrow, as we said. We're actually going to have the ball back in the stands just a little bit, because I want to be able to control that dynamic loft and control the club head speed to get the consistency and distance. Now, because we've done that, I'm actually going to move my left foot back ever so slightly, because as we move that ball position back, you guessed it, the club path can start to work out to the right hand side. We don't want to block these shots. We don't want too much kind of draw spin on them. And just moving that left foot back, yes, it's going to help us get that consistent dynamic loft. It's also actually going to help us get that nice neutral swing path. And from 55 yards now with a proper setup, I've got the club face nice and square. I'm not altering the club face too much. You can see a nice strike there. I've hit down on the ball, 55 yards. It's gone in. The first one. I really don't think it gets much better than that, to be honest. If you do this properly, then it goes in. We're not classing that as a hole-in-one. Chris probably would, because he had a hole-in-one from this distance, 55 yards.
54 it was in the Charlotte Observer.
But the key here is consistency. I am buzzing that that's happened. I didn't plan that at all. But guys, subscribe if you haven't, because that's worth subscribing for. Let's try and do exactly the same. Exactly the same setup, exactly the same swing. And hopefully you can see that James needs to practice this a lot more, because that's finished 10 yards short. Guys, Chris is now going to give you a couple of drills that you can do to do this. You can actually have so much fun doing this. Like, a lot of people will stand here and hit driver on this simulator all the time. And for me, I'm really hoping I can hone in my wedge play so I can keep beating Chris. Look at that one, a couple of feet as well. Keep beating Chris in all the series that we are playing this year. Chris, to the drills.
So guys, James has beat me every time, but that's pitched next to the flag. So when we're talking about pitching, who practices pitching? Comment below. I'm guessing there'll not be many comments below, because we don't see a lot of people doing this, and we need to think about what you need to do to get better at pitching. James has explained there what we need to do with stance. So a lot of people get straight into, right, I'm going to set up. We don't know if you're hitting this 50 yards, if you're hitting it 5, or if you're hitting it 105. And that's the problem we get. And the reason why we narrow this stance, we turn that left foot out, is so that we can obviously swing a lot more in balance. So I can be nice and controlled from here. If I get any faster, if I get any kind of acceleration and hitting at the ball, I'm probably going to lose balance and fall over. So that's why we do that. We can control body speed, and that brings us into what you need to do in your practice. And that's give yourself an idea of how far each wedge goes. So we talk about positions, and a lot of people talk about the clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, how we can then get different distances. But what we don't see people focus on is speed. So I can make two different swings here. I can make a swing here to what I feel is 9 o'clock. And this is the main thing. It feels to me like 9 o'clock. If I know it feels like 9 o'clock, I can repeat that. It might look a little bit further, but that's personal feel and that's personal preference. So if I hit one where I feel 9 o'clock now, we'll see that I've struck that well, that's launched good, that's landed at 50, gone to 59, 60, stopped at 60. So carry was 52, gone 60, that's my 9 o'clock.
Perfect to look at that as well, Chris, because I was going to mention it was a perfect 9 o'clock swing. If we have a look at view your swing here, and we'll look at it in slow motion, go back to the front, you can see absolutely to the degree.
So arm parallel to the ground, exactly what I want to see. Club head goes a little bit further with momentum, but don't worry about that. I know that is controlling my distance. I know that is my 52-yard carry roughly. I normally play around about 55, and it stops at 60. But what we see people do then is do a 9 o'clock. The next 9 o'clock swing is this. It's back to there. Oh dear. I've done 9 o'clock, so why has that gone 105 yards?
Good effort to hit the 105 yards.
It's a very good effort from there. Not the best swing you'll ever see. So if we watch that, again on view my swing, and we slow that right down, you will see there 9 o'clock, maybe a slight bit further, but I've tried to put more speed into it. I've tried to hit at the golf ball, and this is the problem what we see with people with pitching. They say, I've got no feel from 100 yards, I've got no feel from 70 yards, because we're hitting at the golf ball. We're so worried about making contact, getting the ball into the air, but we need to control this speed. So if I close that down there now, and come in and go back to my 9 o'clock, I'm going to make that motion again. That's a nice strike, that's landing again. Little bit long, that landed at 59 and it's gone through the green, but you can start to see I'm dialing that in.
Small green.
With a little bit of, it's a very narrow shot. But if we now take that back, so I know with this club at a 54 degree, I know that with my 9 o'clock swing, that's going to give me around about that 60-yard shot, which is what I want. So if I get that shot, I know I can carry the trouble, I'll get a bit more spin on the green and hopefully be able to hit it close. But if I move us back now to 98 yards, so if I go back, there, and we're now at 90...
You're a wizard on this, by the way. It is our first day in here, isn't it?
Technology wizard, some would know me as. Others would know that I don't know how to work anything. So, 98 yards. This is where people are thinking, well, that's my full sand wedge, it's my full gap wedge, it might even be a full pitching wedge or 9-iron. But we still want to keep this stance narrow. We want to get that ball launching lower. And I had a lesson earlier today, it was a prime example. 20 handicap golfer, but was thinking, right, if I hit my wedges really high, that's a very good shot. But if you watch golf live or if you watch it on TV, you will see a lot of the pros are sending it in a lot lower, more direct, and that will actually get you more spin. So once my stance is narrow, I can then... Once my stance is narrow, I can control my body speed better. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. If I now go with the same 54 wedge, but I'm going to go, really here is around about a 3/4 shot for me. I'm going to go to my 11 o'clock position. You will see that's launching in there nicely.
Oh, it's at it. Go on then.
Oh, not quite, James. Landed at 95, gone 105. Again, on a green, that might have spun a little bit more. I keep saying that just because James has chipped one in. But if we go on to view my swing again here, slowed it down, straight away, 3/4. Exactly where I want it to be. So you can see instantly, giving yourself that feel, I start to know how far my wedges go. So get onto your driving range, start to give yourself a 9 o'clock swing, a 10 o'clock swing, and an 11 o'clock swing with all your wedges. So your 56, your 52, and your 48 maybe, and then your pitching wedge.
60.
Not a 60. So you'll then start to have some nice numbers where you can get, okay, if I'm at 64, I know it's a certain shot with a club. You'll start to have confidence. You'll start to get more consistent with your ball flights, more consistent with your spin, and it'll help you get good at golf.